What's going on, everyone? Man, it's Stilo Man here, man. Just welcome you hanging out with me today, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do a tour of my home studio and some of the changes from the previous video that I've done. Like I said, I removed some stuff and I added some new stuff. Not huge changes, but changes that I'm very fond of. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you guys. So hopefully you enjoy. You see, not much has actually changed since my last video, quite frankly. I've eliminated a couple things and kind of replaced a couple things as well, so we'll get into that. So over here, I still have my 900 CDJ Nexus, and I am using this with a Denon setup. But this rig, this is more like a backup. I just keep this. I barely use it. It's just here, quite frankly, collecting dust. But it is a cool setup. Sometimes when I got the homies coming over, I'll be playing on one side, they be playing on another. So that's actually kind of fun when we get together and do that. And this is what I'm using as a mixer. The Yamaha serves a purpose. I still have this one kind of as a backup, and so on and so forth. I actually have to connect everything again. I took things apart to move some things around. But that hasn't changed much since the last video that I did. So the Yamaha definitely serves a purpose. I've been using that for certain gigs. I take it with me. This one here is actually starting to give me a little bit of trouble, so I got to kind of fidget with it every now and then. So I'm due for the next one. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll go ahead and replace that one as well. But for what it's worth, that Behringer, that's the Behringer 802. I've had it for so long, and ironically enough, it's lasted and it's taken a beating. So it's definitely a great mixer for what it was. All right, as far as my rig here, we're using the Pioneer XDJ 1000s with the Elite mixer right now. Definitely cool setup. I actually enjoy this setup for what it is, because it gives me, with the mixer and the way I have everything set up here, it allows me to kind of still play around, you know, so if I'm doing my house sets, you know, that way. And of course, with having the mixer, I can still scratch and cut if I'm doing like open format sets from the crib or from my practice mode and so on and so forth. All right, and this one is my daily gig one. So most of my local gigs, I use this particular rig right here. This is the Rev 5 from Pioneer. I actually love it. I love the setup. Super clean. The fade is awesome. Love the jog wheel for what it's worth, so it's definitely worth it. My backup, the Rev 1. I still have the Rev 1 there. Can't complain about that. That one right there is perfect. I always take it with me just in case. Always the backup to the backup. And I still have this little buddy, the DJ2Go from Numark. I do this just to fool around sometimes. I'm in the park or something, you know, hanging out with my dog. I definitely take this with me if I'm in the mood to do that. So that's always fun. Also, one of the other things that I have as a backup is the Hercules. This one right here. Honestly, great rig. I love it. I got it because of the vinyl, honestly. Super impressed. I didn't think it was going to compare to like the Rain or even the Reb 7. But quite frankly, I love it. It's lightweight. It's not, you know, it's not as sturdy as as a Rain or as a Reb 1, Reb 7, but still a great controller. The Hercules T7 Impulse. Definitely a great buy. One of my favorite joints that I have right now. All right, as far as the studio stuff here, I still have the M Audios, the BX8, the BX5s. I also still am using the Audio Box USB. As far as my my audio interface, with this setup here, I typically use my MacBook Pro 2021. I used to use the 2013. If you watched the last video, that's what I was using. But right now, everything's updated to 2013. Now I kind of use it out there with my turntables and stuff with Serato for my home setup. I still have this throwback, this dinosaur. I still have it. It still serves a purpose. I am going to upgrade to the new one because the new MPK Mini that came out is really dope. I think it's worth it. I think it's like $100, so I might jump on that. But for right now, this is still doing what I needed to do. And of course, I still got the Machine Micro. And I haven't upgraded more than anything because sometimes I find myself just doing my stuff inside the, inside of Ableton, and I don't touch this as much as I used to. There's so many other features. My backup laptop, this is 2018 MacBook Air. I still have it. It's still in perfect condition. It does exactly what I need it to do. So I can't really complain about that. So I have also decided to convert my dining room into a DJ setup, which is what I do for upcoming live streams that I plan on doing. And in this room, I actually keep the 1200s. Always gonna keep the 1200s on deck. It's never gonna go anywhere. My all-time favorite turntables. I started on vinyl, so I definitely get the itch to play on vinyl every now and then. But I have that set up here with the Traktor, Control Z2. And right now, with it being able to work with Serato, I decided I'm definitely keeping it. Definitely gonna use it. So it's back in action again, which is pretty cool. So I think that update that Serato did, allowing the Traktor controller to work on Serato, is probably the best thing that could have happened. And I use that right now with my 2013 MacBook Pro. It still serves a purpose. It does its thing. It is definitely a workhorse. It has lasted God knows how long. Also with this setup, I use the Phase. They need to be charged actually. I used them recently and haven't charged them, being lazy, procrastinating like I normally do. But I use a Phase with them, so definitely probably one of my best purchases or favorite purchases here, just because this thing just comes in very handy. So definitely a Phase user. And yeah. So every now and then I get to a point where I don't want to be in the studio and I'm just kind of kicking it, and I might get inspired. So this is my little setup that I keep in my bedroom. So this is actually my bedroom setup. In here, I typically keep my MacBook Pro. This is 2021. That normally I either take with me to the studio, which is usually where I run everything. But if I don't feel like being in there, I just want to be in my room for whatever reason, because I do go through my little hermit stages. I have that little setup. Same audios. Audio interfaces I have with the other one, so it's the same one. I have the Rockets, which, by the way, I'm very fond of how they sound. Definitely really good. And then, of course, this is my newest acquisition. I just got this recently, and I keep that in the room for those, again, moments when I feel inspired and I want to go ahead and work on some stuff or just practice or whatever the case is. This is the Pioneer RX3. And quite frankly, the bigger screen, the way it operates, I'm truly in love with it. If I had any complaint whatsoever about it, honestly, would be the size of the jog wheels. I wish the jog wheels were a little bit different. I like the mechanical jog wheel, if I'm being honest. So this is the only disappointment that I have with it, but other than that, it's an amazing rig. So definitely happy with this controller. So that's pretty much my home studio setup as it is. I definitely spend a lot of time in here. But like I was also saying, sometimes I don't want to spend any time, so I'm kind of glad that I do have a backup setup in my bedroom. So those spur of the moments, I'm a person that can barely sleep. I barely sleep, so sometimes I'll get up and I'll feel like, you know what, I'm in the mood to do something, or I have something grooving in my head, or whatever, or I just want to fidget with something. So having the setup in the room as well is definitely something that happens pretty regularly. I would say that it's a benefit that I can actually convert because the majority of my house has some kind of rig, some kind of equipment, some kind of something that kind of keeps me wanting to do things and keeps me motivated and flowing and so on and so forth. And sometimes, again, I don't feel like being cooped up in here, so having that option is cool. Having my turntable option outside with my vinyls and stuff like that always keeps me motivated. I have a lot of fun with that. Especially when the guys come over and we hang out and we just do our thing and we have our little sessions, which, by the way, look out for that because I plan on recording those sessions as well. Kind of let you know how we get down. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. This is, you know, kind of a minor upgrade from the last video. The last video, I think was, you know, a couple years old, maybe, I don't know, give or take. And so a few things has changed. Not much has changed. I've kind of, as you can see, the speakers, my monitors, I've kept them the same. Obviously, I had the addition of the Rockets that I'm now using in my room and stuff like that, which I'm considering moving them in here. I don't know. We're debating about that. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, checking out my stuff. Hopefully you found this interesting. Obviously, if you have any questions or about any of the gear, any suggestions for upgrades, things of that nature, because I am looking to upgrade a few things, please let me know. And thanks for hanging out. Take care.